Hello and welcome to the Gnomecast. My name's Tarmack, and this is Swords and Soldiers by Ronimo Games. Ronimo-games.com is where you can find them. It's also a part of the Humble Indie Bundle for Android 2 that just came out very recently, humblebundle.com. And you can pay what you want. If you're not familiar with the Humble Bundle, you really do need to take a quick look at it. It's worth keeping an eye on, worth subscribing to their newsletter so you know when these things are coming out. You can put some money towards charity, you can also put money towards the developers, and you get to pick based on how much you're buying it for, which ones you want to be giving the money to, and how much money to give to each of them. Kind of slick stuff. Swords and Soldiers is basically a 2D side-scrolling tower defense game, where each side, both you and your computer opponent, are playing effectively the same game. So it's not just that you've got your own tower and there's just a ridiculous amount of mobs coming your way that you've got to defend against. It's you have to be taking over the other side's tower while they're trying to take over yours. And there is an online mode for it, or you can play against the AI. You've got different races that you can pick from. 3 so far that I've seen: Viking, Aztec, and Chinese. So I'm just playing through some of the Viking stuff here right now. This is part of the campaign. Not the first level, but I think it might be the second if I remember correctly. On the left side, we've got a gold counter and a mana counter. The gold counter is basically how you're going to be upgrading your units and how you're going to be creating new units. So you need your gold diggers, which is what the game calls them, those wonderful Viking buxom babes there wandering back and forth. The mana is different abilities that you unlock with your gold as well. There's a lightning bolt, and you can also get some healing power, and there was also a hammer of Thor that I saw, which was quite slick. The different units that you can see right here, we've got the shorter little axe-throwing guys. These ones are the ranged class. They move slower than your melee units. So you kind of got to time this a little bit when you're creating units to make sure that they're out in the field. You don't want your range class getting there before your melee, but you also don't want your melee getting there too far before the ranged. A little bit of strategy element there, of course. There's the heal. Using a ranged class as my tank, which is always a fantastic idea. In this particular one, see there's the lightning bolt coming down from the opponent. It's not something that I've unlocked yet in this one, or in this particular level at least, but my AI opponent obviously has it and is able to use it against me. Some of the other upgrades that you can get have to do with increasing the rate at which your mana is going to be replenished. You're also going to get things like catapult, and there was a heavy unit that carries around a great big mallet. Really, really slow at attacking, but does lots of damage. I haven't found a benefit or difference from playing at night. The cycle of the day changes back and forth, and I don't really know what the difference is. So if there is something and you've seen it and you know the difference, please, throw it in the comments. So we're almost to the end here. We'll just take out this Viking bugger after beating down all of his gold diggers. I just love that part. It's great. The voice acting is pretty slick, and the music is really good too. Fits the theme, fits the tone of everything. There's not any shy people that were working on this game as far as the voices go. Alright, so there we have one of the earlier levels, just something to give you a bit of an idea. Now I'm going to slip into a level a little bit further along. Actually, this was a skirmish that I did earlier, and we'll go midway through it just so you can see some of the more complex stuff. So here we have a couple of the other units you can see available. I'm up against one of the Aztec races here. Got that little guy carrying the big hammer along, we've got the catapult in the back. You can see the units are different depending on which race you're going to be picking. So we've got the big sort of bruiser guy there. He's kind of like the catapult equivalent of the Aztec race. This is the Thor's hammer. does a whole bunch of damage and then acts as a tower for a little bit of time. That statue there that's using his eyes against me, that's the tower for the Aztecs. The Vikings have got their own tower that they've got an axe thrower basically up on top of it. It takes a lot more damage and is just used to slow the enemy down. It starts to get pretty hectic when you're getting into these skirmishes because everything is unlocked. You don't have to worry about getting to that next piece of the tutorial or anything like that. Just jump right in. But I wouldn't set the difficulty too high right away. This game will slap you down real quick. As I said, it does get pretty hectic. I think I'm going to close it up here for now. This is the Gnomecast. My name's Tarmack. Taking a look at Swords and Soldiers by Ronimo Games. Cheers.